It's the Metro on WDET. I'm Robyn, Vincent. Artificial intelligence is all around us. AI can now create videos, provide analysis. It's even able to code. What makes artificial intelligence so weird is that it's not mechanistic like a light switch or a power button. Instead, AI can make decisions on its own. So where should we be limiting its use? Penelope Tsernoglou has some ideas. The Democrat representing East Lansing in the State House already helped outlaw the use of AI to create sexual deepfakes. She also supported legislation that would ban employers from using AI to make decisions about wages and hiring and firing workers. And she wants to prevent the use of AI when determining claims in the healthcare marketplace. So within this regulatory framework, we're wondering, when exactly should AI be used? And for someone skeptical of the technology, how should we be considering the construction of data centers, which would greatly advance AI? Representative Tsernoglou, welcome to the Metro.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and I appreciate you covering these important topics.
Well, let's get into them. Why are you so concerned about artificial intelligence?
So artificial intelligence is developing very rapidly right now, and the speed that it's moving is faster than we can really wrap our minds around what's happening here and regulate it. And we need to kind of get out ahead of some of the things that that it may do and the things that it's already doing, just to ensure that it's not causing harm. I think there's a lot of amazing uses for AI, but there's also a lot of ways that it could be used in a harmful way, especially by individuals who are trying to use it in a harmful way.
Tell me this, in the absence of federal regulations, do you feel an added responsibility as a state lawmaker to set some kind of regulatory framework?
Yes, absolutely. I find it really shocking that we're not having more federal regulations on something that is so powerful and has become such a big part of our current society. I mean, it's everywhere. It's in the workplace. It's in our schools. It's it's with us at home.
Sure.
And
and I should be clear here. I mean, I'm talking about the Trump administration, which has really backed off from any kind of regulations for AI. And it makes me wonder how much this is becoming a partisan issue, because some of your legislation regulating artificial intelligence is bipartisan. That's important to note, but not all of it. Your bill that would ban employers from using AI to make decisions related to hiring and firing, setting wages, and tracking facial patterns of workers doesn't have any Republican sponsors. Why do you think some bills regulating AI get bipartisan support here in the state of Michigan and others are not?
So that's a great question. I think AI in general and regulating AI is very much a bipartisan issue. When I started working on it at the state level, with regulating political deepfakes, I worked closely with my Republican partner in the House, and then also on banning explicit images. And we received almost unanimous support. I've also joined with numerous legislators, both Democrat and Republican, opposing the federal mandate on not doing AI regulations. So we have Democrats and Republicans all across the nation who want to regulate AI. The reason that I believe I haven't seen a lot of Republican support for my newest legislation, which is the RAISE Act, where we regulate what employers can do, it's because it's about workers and unions that want to be sure that employers aren't overstepping. And a lot of times when we have something that's related to unions and workers, sadly, Republicans just don't get on board with that.
Is it also, forgive me for jumping in, Representative, is it also because it's about the money, because it's about the economics of it all?
Well, I think it's because it regulates corporations, right? And Republicans aren't as big on regulating corporations traditionally as Democrats. And that's not to say all Republicans. We do have some Republicans who like to regulate corporations. But overall, they just aren't as interested in holding corporations responsible. So that's just kind of how things,
that could
fall.
Sure. I mean, that could portend something very serious in the future here, because some of the most powerful corporations are controlling AI. No?
Yes. Absolutely.
I mean, how else do you think we should be regulating artificial intelligence outside of the ways that you've tried to limit its use already?
So other legislators are looking into other things, and there's a bill package in the Senate. AI can be really harmful to young people when it can help them reaffirm things that just shouldn't be reaffirming, right? Like it makes them feel like they're being supported, but they might say something to the AI like, I'm feeling really bad and I'm thinking about harming myself. And the AI might say, oh, here's some ways you can do that. And, that's the kind of thing like we need to be able to prevent. AI is also being used.
So you support that? You support that bill? That's a bill that was introduced in the state Senate that would limit minors from using AI chatbots like ChatGPT, for example. So you would sign on to that bill if it came to the state house?
Oh, absolutely. And I was actually already working on my own bills to do that, but just slightly approaching it in a different way.
I have to ask you, if I may, this, because as much State Representative Tsernoglou, as much as we talk about AI being a problem, many of us are also still using it. And it has me wondering how you use AI in your everyday life.
Yeah, so it's on my phone. I think it's just on everyone's phone. It pops up. And I believe there's a way to turn it off, which I actually haven't done yet. But it responds when I Google something. It's automatic. It's not like you turn it on. It's like you have to turn it off. So I'm using it on my phone every day. I'm not actively trying to create AI generated images or videos or anything like that. And a lot of times we are talking to an AI when we contact a business or any type of entity when we're looking it up online and we're chatting with an AI, and we don't even know that we're chatting with an AI.
When you say, when you click, I need help, you click the customer service bubble, and it's not a person, it's a robot.
Right, which is another thing I think should be disclosed. I think you should know if you're chatting with a real person.
But this is all to say that you also see benefits of AI. You see ways that it has helped us to be more informed, to live more efficiently. It sounds like you're trying to just put some guardrails on that. But I do have to ask you, back in 2024, you sponsored a bill to give tax breaks to big data centers in Michigan. And data centers are what allow AI to be powered, to flourish, to become these massive entities that we're all working with and yet also questioning and that you're trying to regulate. Why did you co-sponsor the bill?
In 2024, I believe I don't recall if I definitely didn't sponsor that bill. I may have co-sponsored a bill because we had several versions, and then the first time it was brought to us, no one flagged it as having any concerns. It was simply to bring economic development and jobs into the state. But as we moved forward, there were a couple times I voted in favor, and I believe once that I didn't. And data centers, I feel like, has been an evolving issue. I feel like I continue to learn about it, and I continue to learn about the potential impacts, both positive and negative. Mm-hmm. So we know that they use a lot of water, right? They use a lot of energy, and that's a huge concern.
Do you regret?
But we also know that we're
regret co-sponsoring a bill that's going to give tax breaks to big data centers, given what we're seeing now? I mean, I think a lot of folks, to be very fair to you and others who co-sponsored this legislation, it was hard to see what was going to be coming next. I mean, it was hard to predict that this is where we would be at right now, where we are seeing sort of this data center rush here in Michigan. And we're also seeing great opposition from many communities who are now enacting moratoria. Would you have signed on to a bill like that now?
So I can't really answer that question because there's so much more, information out there that I think we might be approaching it in a different way now than we did initially. Initially, there wasn't this, big rush of all these, data centers being constructed. So it would just be a different conversation. And I think the conversation now, we are using, all of this data, and the conversation needs to be, how can we ensure that we are protecting our water and we are protecting our utility prices from going up? And that anyone that proposes a data center to come in Michigan has to commit to using clean, renewable energy now and in the future, and that they have to guarantee that the utility costs are not being passed on to consumers.
Right.
Also, we need to give community input so that if a community completely opposes a data center, then there should be a way for them to make it clear that they don't want it there. And if there's another community who feels like it will bring jobs and economic development to their community, then that community can have that data center.
Representative Tsernoglou, we are running out of time, so I do want to jump back in here. And, on the topic of legislation, I mean, I do want to be clear because you went back and forth. You were a sponsor of HB 4906, which gave tax breaks to data centers in Michigan. I mean, I am wondering, a bipartisan group of state lawmakers recently sponsored legislation that would put a 1-year moratorium on data centers across the state. You did not sign onto this legislation. Are you still in favor of creating data centers in Michigan?
I'm in favor of letting communities consider the option. And really just, allowing individual communities to have their input and determine if this is right for their communities. I didn't sign on to the moratorium. I think that, things are, moving forward quickly, and we need to move quickly to put a framework, and we do have a framework in place, but of course that can be improved so that communities are feeling like they are getting their say. But I don't think that having a moratorium is going to solve that issue. So
Representative
I did not sign on to
Tsernoglou,
that.
in the last minute that we have here, if we look back in 10 years and this experiment will have gone well, what should society look like? What would it mean for our use of AI to benefit us personally and collectively?
So AI has already led to, research advancements beyond what we could have previously even imagined because it analyzes data so quickly. So I think it's going to help us cure diseases. I think it's going to help us design things that we just never could have imagined before because it's so quick and so efficient, but only when it's being used properly with people overseeing it. It should never replace human jobs or human ingenuity and human imagination and work. So we have to use it for the tool that it can be, and we have to make sure that we keep it under our control and don't let it go off in directions that can be harmful to society.
Penelope Tsernoglou is a Democrat representing East Lansing in the State House. Representative Tsernoglou, thank you so much for joining me on the Metro.
Thank you. Have a great day.
It's the Metro on WDET. I'm Robyn Vincent. Coming up, we catch up with food critic and entertainment reporter Melody Batens on what's opening, what's closing, and what's cooking in Metro Detroit. This is WDET-FM, Detroit Public Radio, your connection to news, music, and conversation. And this is the Metro. We'll be right back after the news.